Hello and welcome back everyone. So in this video, we will look at another front-end interview problem. So this problem states that we need to implement a function that is named retry with delay, and this function will take in a function and the number of retries. So what this will do is we want to create a function that retries a function this many number of times like if it fails, so like this function, let's say, fails two times in a row. So what I want to do is I want to try the function at least three times. So hey, try to call the function at least three times, and even if it failed two times, it will if it will pass the third time, that's great, give me success. But if it fails all the three times, if it fails all the number of at all the number of retry times, give me failure. Like give me the final failure message, which will define here. So what we want to do is we want to create a function that calls a certain function n number of times, that tries to call the function n number of times till it succeeds. So if the function fails all the n number of times, then show the failure message. Else, if the function even fails n minus one number of times, but it passes the nth time, or it passes the amount of time less than n, then give me success. I want to try calling the function at least n number of times is what we want here. So for now, what I've done is I've created a get test function which will give us a random async function. And what we want to do is implement this, that will try to call this at least this many number of times. That will try to call this at most this many number of times. If the function fails all this number of times, give us a final failure message. Else, give us a success. So this will try to call this function at most this times. This will try to call the function at most this times, because after that it will give us a failure message. So let's try to implement this up. Um, yeah, so since it will return us a promise, like since this is since we are awaiting it and we await a promise, so let's try to return a promise, new promise, resolve, reject, and here, now what we will do is we will try to call this function. Let's try to call this function. And if it passes, just resolve the promise. Just resolve the promise. But if it fails, let's say it fails, we will check if our retries has reached to zero. If our retries count has reached to zero. So I'll just check if our retries is greater than zero. If it is greater than zero, we need to call the function again. So I'll call this function again with the same parameters, but retries count will become -1. It will decrease by 1. Interval will remain same, and final error will remain same. Now, if this passes, just resolve. So if this passes, just resolve. But if it fails, just reject. Now, why I'm rejecting here directly? Because see, if this rejects, it will pass. If it rejects, then it will pass again on this here, and this will run again, and this will run again. My retries count will again decrease, and this will go into recursion. So if it passes, then just resolve. If it fails, just rerun this logic again. So yeah, and if the retry count has become less than equal to zero, we will just reject with our final error message. And I'll just save this. I think this is really it. I'll just run this and see if it works. And I can see it is working. It first is giving me success, like this is resolving. But since this is failing, it is giving me it is giving me this final error message: retry failed, retry failed. So yeah, so we have implemented a basic functionality that with the help of which we can try to call a function at most this many number of times, and if it fails all this number of times, give us a failure message, else give us success. So yeah, so this was all. Let me know if you have any question in comments. Please like and subscribe. Thank you and bye bye.